Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this very, very busy Wednesday. I'm Roger Susanin.
I'm Caitlin Nuclo. A lot to get to from overnight. You're watching Eyewitness News on the Wax, and we're following those several big stories, including that underground electrical fire that caused thousands of outages in the city of Hartford this morning.
And of course, it is also a first alert weather day with a chance of heavy rain and wind. Not just a chance, it's arrived.
Here.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, it's here.
It is. It's we can handle rain. It's Connecticut, but it's the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 60-mile-per-hour winds plus. So that's going to cause problems later on today. Live look outside right now, though, in New Haven. The rain is here. Temperature is mild, 45 degrees. You could tack on nearly 20 degrees to that number by the afternoon, which is a good 20 degrees above average. Notice the Christmas tree on the green there. Yeah, not feeling like winter at all. Our first alert weather day, though, so the heavy rain, we're talking 2 to 3 inches, maybe a little bit more in a few spots, but it's the wind, 50 to 60, even in some cases 65 miles per hour. That will lead to power outages. We're going to have plenty of them later on this afternoon, and because of that rain, some poor drainage flooding. First alert live right, our heaviest rain right now through parts of Fairfield County and New Haven County. I-91 and the I-95 interchange pouring right now through North Haven, Wallingford, down through New Haven, over Branford, East Haven. It's a wet commute. Just take it slow. Leave plenty of extra time out there this morning. We do have a flood watch for the entire state. This has been upgraded throughout the overnight hours, and 2 to 3 inches. It's about a month's worth of rain that we'll have just the day today. Check out the widespread temperature changes. 34 in Torrington, 40 in Meriden, and 55 degrees in Chester. This is just the beginning of some of the warmer air that will make its way all the way towards the north. It's going to take some time to erode away in parts of Hartford County and parts of Litchfield County, but when it does, those temperatures skyrocket into the 60s. Wind speeds, they're just fine right now, but these change in a huge way later on today. So we have a wind advisory for most of Connecticut, the exception being Litchfield County. Along the shoreline, a high wind warning, 50, 60, 65 miles per hour. That's a high-end tropical storm force wind gust that we can see later on today, and it will cause problems. We're going to go into much more detail about when to expect the highest impact in terms of the weather and when it all comes to an end. That's all coming up with your first alert forecast. Good morning, Kate.
Hey, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. So those roads compromised out there, not only this morning, but expect them to be really tricky all day long. So not only are we dealing with that rain, but those wind gusts that are going to pick up later. You want to make sure that you have a plan in place. Really hang on tight to that steering wheel and reduce those speeds. Dealing with a spin out here in Windsor. This is 91 southbound between exits 40 and 38A. The update is that it's been moved over to the right shoulder here. So traffic is getting by. But again, if you're traveling from say Enfield or Windsor Locks through the Windsor area here on the southbound side, give yourself plenty of time if you're heading towards the capital city this morning. Those roads are wet. We've got a lot of spray coming up. Unrelated to the weather, we have a road closure in Fairfield, Route 135. That's North Benson Road, closed to Osborne Hill Road because something that happened yesterday. DOT reporting that there was a water main break. You can see that crash here in Windsor. Live look outside in Middletown. Those headlights are going to be very important for you to use all day. If your windshield wipers are on, your headlights are on. Live look outside in Waterbury and in Meriden. Lots of spray here coming up from those vehicles with some liquid on the lens. I'm Caitlin Francis with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Continuing our coverage now of this First Alert Weather Day, our top story. Several communities across our state are preparing for that heavy rain and the wind, as Scott was just talking about.
Yeah, and today for the very first time, some new floodgates could be put to use on the shoreline. Those gates were installed in areas of West Haven that often deal with heavy flooding, where water levels sometimes top 3 feet.
Officials say the barricades that they had before and the signs, well, they weren't really working. People would often drive right through them anyways, prompting water rescues for the fire department. The city of Norwich is also preparing for the storm. The public utilities there has extra crews on standby and equipment that is ready to go.
If there are widespread outages, it's all hands on deck. We'll get the lights back on. People just have to bear with us.
A spokesperson there said that they're asking people to work with them. Make sure you report your power outages right away. And of course, stay away from downed trees and wires. Let the crews handle those.
And the rain and wind and just warm temperatures are putting a pretty big damper on Winterfest today. The rink at Bushnell Park will be closed this afternoon, but you still have plenty of time to hit the ice. Don't worry, free skating will run through January 6th. And don't forget, you can always keep track of the latest weather updates by downloading the First Alert Weather app. Download it now by scanning the QR code on your screen.
You'll get important weather updates sent right to your phone, including early dismissals at schools across our state. By the way, they'll also be scrolling at the bottom of your screen all morning long if they come into the newsroom.
All right, back to that breaking news that we're on top of in Hartford. We just learned this morning about a major issue that is really causing a lot of chaos there. As thousands of power outages have been reported across Hartford.
Yeah, we know that crews are making quick work of this. We want to take you outside, give you a look at our iCam in Hartford. It's a little bit difficult to see here, but there was an underground electrical vault fire. It happened on Elm Street, and you can see those flashing lights. Those are the crews that have responded right across from Bushnell Park. Right now, about 3,000 customers are without power. That's down from 9,000. So they are working to get those lights back on. Hartford Hospital, though, is also being impacted. They're on backup power right now, and that whole surrounding area is in this zone. So as we work to get more information, of course, we'll bring that to you on air and on the WFSB app as soon as it comes into the newsroom. All
right, we have another update to tell you about in Norwich, where 395 is finally back open after a wild crash that involved 4 separate vehicles. Check this out. This chain of collisions caused a 25,000-pound beam to actually slide forward on the back of this flatbed truck. That crushed one driver's car, or part of it, trapping that driver inside. That person did suffer serious injuries. However, we have learned they are expected to survive. The southbound side of that highway, though, was closed for several hours yesterday.
A $20,000 reward is being offered this morning for help finding the person who murdered a 17-year-old boy in New Haven. Daley Jackson was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting last week while walking along Shelton Avenue. Police think the attack was targeted and may be connected to the murder of another teen last month on Gough Street. If you know anything about this, call New Haven Police.
And breaking overnight, a judge has blocked The Onion from purchasing Alex Jones's conspiracy platform, InfoWars.
Big update here. His business went up for auction back in November. You may remember it was sold off as part of a defamation settlement after Jones falsely claimed that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax.
Your reporter, Olivia Schuler, has been on top of this from the beginning this morning. So, Olivia, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, guys. Well, the decision to not approve the sale was made by a U.S. bankruptcy judge in Houston. The judge mentioned problems, not wrongdoings, in the auction process. The Onion offered $1.75 million in cash and incentives for InfoWars assets in the auction. The Onion's bid was backed by the families of 8 victims of the Sandy Hook school shooting and 1 first responder. Now, after the sale in November, the Onion planned to kick Jones out and relaunch InfoWars in January as a parody. Ben Collins, the CEO of the Onion's parent company, posted on social media saying in part, quote, "We are deeply disappointed in today's decision, but the Onion will continue to seek a resolution that helps the Sandy Hook families." Now, Jones, who did not attend the proceedings, went on air to celebrate the judge's decision, calling it the most ridiculous, fraudulent auction known in human history. Meanwhile, here in Connecticut, the lawyer for the Sandy Hook families who sued Jones say families have remained resilient through roadblocks and delays. This statement says in part, this doesn't change the fact that soon Jones will begin to pay his debt to families. Now, there will not be a new auction, and the judge is leaving it up to the trustee who oversaw the auction to determine the next steps. Your reporter in studio, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Olivia. And the time right now, 7:09. We have a first alert weather day for some very impactful weather we haven't seen here in several months across our state. Right now, a live look outside in Old Saybrook. Notice the flag is flapping around in the breeze there, but that is going to pick up in such a big way later on today. We're talking wind speeds up and over 60 miles per hour possible. The water looks fine right now as well, but with a storm warning out in the area of Long Island Sound, we could have wave heights later, 4 to 7 feet through New London. Check out the look there, 53 degrees. It's wet, it's breezy. That wind is coming right out of south at 14 miles per hour. First alert live radar scanning the state. Very wet this morning. Notice I-91 through Middletown, down through Meriden, Wallingford, and North Haven, seeing that heavy rain right now, even through the shoreline areas of New Haven County, Guilford, out through Hammonasset. Pouring rain out there. Leave plenty of extra time. Hydroplaning is certainly an issue out there this morning. Reduced visibility as well, even out towards Ansonia and the Valley area, seeing that heavy rain as well. Now, take a look at the temperatures. We should be 42. We're going to make a run at that record today, 46 degrees. Here's a look at the temperatures you can expect in the town or city closest to you. 65 degrees in Windsor, 65 in Ellington, 62 in stores, 64 in Plainfield. Even along the shoreline, we're looking at those 60s. We're going to have much more details about when we can expect the highest wind gusts, as well as the possibility for some strong to severe thunderstorms today. All that coming up with your full First Alert forecast.
All right, Scott, thank you.